Hello to everybody and all our shareholder partners. It's great to be with you today. This actually is our sixth growth update. And I'm really excited to share with you how we are making significant strides in becoming the biotech leaders of the plant kingdom. So just forward-looking statements, just have everybody go through the appropriate read of this before I really start to get into what I think will be a very engaging and interesting presentation to really help you understand our partners in the business, how we are navigating this exciting journey. So we're going to focus, as always, on our 2021 priorities. I'm going to spend a fair amount of time on cannabis today because we've had so much exciting cannabis news out there the last few days and frankly, more to come. We'll also go and I'll share with you the VINIA Q2 results, which when you unpack them, we see some very strong performance. We'll go deep in sharing with you the US progress update. And then we'll do usual updates with, we've got Vince joining us here today with where we are with Batori, a very important partner. Share with you updates on our 20-ton facility. And of course, and critically, sharing with you the latest as it relates to our ESG sustainability report, which will be coming out officially next week. So I must tell you, it's exciting. The business continues to have significant momentum. You know, the cannabis progress has been, I would say, dynamic as we forge through history, breaking barriers down which haven't been broken before. The VINIA business in Israel has a level of momentum which is exciting, and we're building a new business in the US of A, and we're seeing some very positive early signals. So, you know, as CEO of the company, as I step back and I look at the momentum in the business across our existing two major verticals that we're leveraging our powerful biotech technology, our platform technology, our biofarming technology, it's exciting to be able to sit with you today and to share with you the results with the level of momentum that we have behind us. So very quickly, just to refresh everybody on our 2021 priorities. Obviously, the importance of delivering a disruptive D2C launch in USA, as well as continue Israel momentum for VINIA. And I'm going to be going deep into that. We'll talk with Vince about our partnership with Batori and how we go after some critical partnerships in the food and nutraceutical world. We're going to share a lot about our progress from a scale-up perspective as we enter into the marketplace in the half one of 2022. Well, I'll very quickly cover the progress we're making on regulation, which continues to happen specifically as it relates to the EU and Canada. Again, on the scientific roadmap, we're doing a lot of work in this space and more to come in this area and future updates. And then we'll spend a lot more time on the sustainability framework. And I'm going to share with you today, and I'm very excited to share with you today, some of the key components of our sustainability framework so you can really understand what a powerful competitive advantage we have here with our sustainability framework really being driven by the fact that this is a major purpose of the company and the fact that we have a technology which is so unique in this area. Okay, let's first talk about cannabis scale-up. I think it's really important for people to understand, and you know, I've said this a few times, but I don't think that people can really dimensionalize the significant scale of the achievements that we're making from a cannabis perspective. You know, we are creating history every day by unlocking cellular secrets of plant biology. There's no literature, there's no textbooks, and in fact, there are no pioneering scientific institutions or academic institutions out there that are giving us a beacon of light. We BioHarvest and our science team led by Dr. Yochi Chagai and Dr. Malkit, we are pioneering that beacon of light in this critical trajectory that is going to have a foundational impact on really changing the nature of this critical industry. And we're looking forward to playing that disruptive role. I want to spend some time today just unpacking some of the milestones so people really understand the gravity of what we have been able to achieve specifically over the last 4 to 6 months. This is just a very, very simple schematic of the critical milestones as we apply our biofarming technology to cannabis. It's all about taking the plant, we isolate the cells, we move into a cell reservoir, we take our cells into the biofarming process in our bioreactors. In the case of cannabis, we grow the trichomes, and then we move into the harvesting. In this case, it's a drying process. And we just continue the cycle on an ongoing basis. Now, when it comes to the milestones, we talked yesterday about the 2-year high-performing reservoir, and I'm going to dimensionalize that a little bit. We're going to talk about the fact that we are in continuous flowering mode in a 3 to 4 week cycle. We're able to now grow multiple strains in multiple bioreactors. We have a unique trichome density that nobody else out there has. And then obviously we're making important strides in the development of a critical drying process to marry with the nature of our trichome. And then the fact that we're actually developing measurement specifications and standards, which are, again, very unique and compatible to our form of biofarming. So let's talk a little bit about these critical milestones. So the fact that we now have a 2-year high-performing reservoir of cells, this is game-changing. We now, from the same cells 2 years ago, have continued to grow these cells in our bioreactors and actually drive, we talked about this earlier this year, the optimization of the growth of the trichome from these cells, making sure that these cells are all producing trichomes. And we've been doing this now consistently from the same reservoir for 2 years. And that's unbelievably unique in the industry, and is a major demonstration of the reliability of our technology. And with this reliability, it allows us to actually be in the flowering stage of the actual growth cycle on a continuous and a perpetual process. So we're continuously, perpetually flowering. This means for us, the growth cycle is a 3 to 4 week process as we very quickly move from flowering to harvesting, in our case, drying. And compared to the industry, where we have anywhere from 14 to 23 weeks, we skip the seedling and the vegetative stage, where the industry, whether it's outdoor or indoor, have to continuously start with the seedling, move through the vegetative stage, onto flowering, and then harvesting. And then, of course, the plant dies, and you have to go back to the beginning and start from the beginning. This allows us to be able to deliver 13 to 17 cycles per year from our bioreactors versus the average in the industry of around about 4 cycles. This is critical from a productivity perspective, cost efficiency perspective, and environmental sustainability perspective, which is becoming more and more of a critical issue that the industry is now dealing with. So we've clearly, it's been amazing to see the response from investors, from many serious cannabis journalists around the world. Literally the last 24 hours has been crazy for me. doing multiple interviews with journalists talking about the uniqueness of our 3 to 4 week growth cycle and the fact that we're in perpetual flowering. So again, something which is significant, it's historical, and it's unbelievably powerful as it relates to the utility value of the technology in this area. You know, sometimes when we're doing press releases, it's really hard to, and we try our best, and sometimes we get it right, and sometimes, you know, I think we can do better. And that's in taking something that's quite complex and making it sound very, very simple in a few sentences. And when we released, I think this was in early June, the release which talked about our unique trichome density, I don't believe that people really understood the gravity of what we have here. The way we grow our trichomes and the configuration of the trichomes coming together naturally in our biofarming process, we are left with a density of trichomes coming together, which we call our biotricho bubbles, with the shape, unique shape of our biotricho bubbles, all very closely coming together, which is totally atypical of figure left, or figure 1 on the left-hand side, which is a regular trichome in a cannabis plant, which comes from the leaf and is on a stem, and you see are always separated, in most cases separated. For us, we're able to get an aggregation of trichomes, which forms a very unique density, which in the industry can only be, I guess, compared to, from a density perspective, to what they call bubble hash or ice hash, where, where literally to get this level of density, one has to use mechanically sifting process to sift the trichomes on the left-hand side in figure 1, and to be able to get that level of aggregation. This is very, very important to us. It adds to our productivity and the quality of our trichome, and is a unique factor as it relates to our the output of our biofarming technology. We're now growing multiple strains in multiple bioreactors, so the learning process is quick, and we're able to also have the breadth of literally different genetics that we're working through, which is important for us as we start to think about our product strategy and our route to market strategy. The drying process, the team have done some amazing work in this area. This is not simple. It's not an everyday drying process because we don't produce everyday trichomes. We have a very unique trichomes that come through our bioreactors, and there's specific technology here that we're developing to be able to optimize that drying process. And again, we're making very, very good progress in this area. And this one, I get a lot of questions around. They're like, why do you need to actually develop new measurement methods? Well, because of the uniqueness of our biofarming technology and the fact that we're pioneering history on so many levels, and the unique composition of our trichomes, there's nothing off the shelf out there or literature that can actually tell us how to actually build the measurement methods to be able to understand the actual concentration levels within the cannabinoids in our trichomes. So we've had to go right back to the beginning and actually develop a unique measurement method and qualify a measurement method for our unique form of technology. This is not easy. It was a critical task that the team have powered through, and we now have finalized those measurement methods to be able to do the continuous measuring, which will be very helpful in the optimization process that we're working through over the next 6 to 9 months. So what's next? We've created history in so many ways. And, I think we've pretty much broken the camel's back as far as the stuff that's really, really, really tough to do. And I can see our scientists smiling more, feel like they have more oxygen, as they work forward now in the commercialization process. So what's next? There's further scale up and optimization work we're doing as we go and move forward to larger and larger bioreactors to continue to improve the efficiency that we have. We've still got a little bit more work on the optimization of drying. We're working through, and I'm certainly spending a lot of time on this with the team. And we've got a great team, working on the regulation strategy here. A team of experts with a lot of knowledge in here, including Eitan Popper, who's the chairman of our advisory board, and our regulatory advisors, Dr. Rona Applebaum. And we're spending a lot of time in this space meeting the right people as we pull together the perfect winning team to navigate the regulation waters across the jurisdictions that we need to work through to drive our commercialization process. And then obviously as a marketeer, myself instinctively working with the team on the product strategy and the route to market strategy. So we're kind of getting into some of the fun stuff after going really kind of breaking the back on a lot of the very, very, very challenging science. So at this juncture, I really think it's appropriate on behalf of the company, myself and all you shareholder partners, to really thank Dr. Yochi Chagai, Dr. Malkit, and Dr. Sharon and the entire team that have literally over the last 3 years dedicated their lives to getting us to this exciting point. There's still a lot of work to do in the next 12 months, but we're moving forward now with rapid momentum, and it's exciting. Okay, there's a real purposeful reason why I opened today's presentation to talking about cannabis, where historically I've opened the presentation talking about VINIA performance. And that's really to demonstrate the scale of the progress that we've made and the importance that this has to continue to reinforce our credentials as being the biotech leaders of the plant kingdom, unlocking the critical secrets of cellular biology within plants. So now let's talk about VINIA and VINIA's performance, our most established business today. We'll start on Israel. I'll quickly take you through Israel performance, and then we'll move into looking at the US. So really happy with the results from the team in Israel. It's a 10% growth already on a very large base. And when you think about it, one SKU, we have one SKU. One SKU, literally e-commerce, is delivering more than $400,000 a quarter in a country of 8 million. It really demonstrates the health of the business, the loyal customer base that we have, people remaining with us, the repeat purchases that we have, as well as the enormous opportunity to still bring new people into the franchise. Continued momentum that we have versus Q4, 320,000. We added 50,000 to Q1, and then again adding another $40,000 from a revenue perspective to our already very high base in Q2. Transactions grew by 5%, and our average dollar per transaction per quarter grew by 5%, getting us to $182. The average order size in Israel is $182. Now, yes, we don't have subscription in this market, so that's why the packages are larger that people buy. But it's a significant amount of money, and that's a tremendous vote of confidence that the consumer has in the quality of the product and the ability of the product and the brand to deliver on the benefits that they're looking for. So from a guidance perspective, we actually increased guidance in March for Israel to 1.4 to 1.5 million in sales orders. Right now, if we look at the momentum for the half year, we've done just under 800,000. And I'm quietly confident although we have a few challenges in the third quarter, with September being full of Jewish holidays, all falling literally slap bang into September, but we'll work through that. That's all we get paid for. I'm confident that for the full year, we will get to the higher level of that guidance, and obviously we're pushing to exceed it as much as possible. When we continue to optimize, and you'll see this as a key message when I talk about the US, because we're starting, from a much lower base, being such a new business in the US. But we did a lot of work to drive optimization of our website and improve conversion rates. Our conversion rate for the last 90 days was 2.28%, based on 92,000 sessions to the site. That was an improvement of more than 30%. And again, a lot of great work from Michael, Itai, Shai, and Shai from Crembo and the team in really driving these changes together with Jared and James, located in Japan and New Zealand, who are part of our team. We introduced influencers, and specifically the power of Motala Spiegler, who is a football legend here in Israel and probably one of the most loved and respected icons, not just of Israeli sport, but of basically major people that have really changed the trajectory of the country in significant ways. And what we did is we intertwined real people with a real authentic influencer, and we're seeing significant positive reaction from consumers. But as always, we're not stopping. There's more work that we're doing. We continue to build more revenue layers. In the next quarter, we will be working with Dr. Yochi, going into morning shows and leveraging, again, the power of the science to people. We'll be doing local marketing programs, specifically targeting the Israeli Arab community, as well as moving into the professionals and doing a lot of work with naturopaths and nutritionists. All right, US. All right, let's talk. This is exciting. So here's how I wanted to share with you how I think about the US and how, together with our partners, we are building a very, very unique strategy. We have great partners with Commerce Garage out of Canada. Jesse and Jared and the team are really partners at the front of the business, as we've created what I believe is a strategy that's going to drive the right sustainable growth in building a significant business in the US. And for those of you who may be geography experts, this is Mount McKinley in Antarctica. And this is the highest mountain, from what I understand, in the US. And we want to be at the top of that mountain as we build a sustainable business step by step.
Alaska.
Sorry, Alaska. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Well, it's difficult for a boy from Australia, and now in Israel. So we're super focused on building a conversion machine. Okay. And we're building it by focusing on layer by layer as we build our mountain in Alaska. Thank you. Phase one is mastering how we work with paid social, like Facebook and Instagram. And that's actually where we spent all our time the last 4 weeks. We've been in the market now 6 weeks. First 2 weeks was just making sure all the pieces were plugged in and working together. So the last 4 weeks has just been working on optimizing how we leverage the likes of Facebook and Instagram, what we call paid social. And I'll take you through this in a little bit more detail. Phase two is when we layer on paid search. As you start to build a brand, you've got to then make sure that you have strong credentials in the paid search area. And obviously Google is a major player in this area. And we've started now going after critical words like blood flow, like, basically critical words that are linked, piceid, resveratrol, and we have a myriad of words that we're going after as part of the overall paid search that we're starting to learn and leverage. And then there's content marketing, where we help people understand in a much more contextual way the importance of the French paradox and red wine, and then we bring them into our funnel, talking about the power of Vigna and how Vigna, one capsule of Vigna has the same amount of piceid resveratrol as one bottle of red wine, but we do it in a way where we're actually helping them understand a broader context as part of a newspaper article that leads them down a funnel into our website. And this is the likes of Taboola and Outbrain, and you see this across every major news site. You see articles in this area. And Shai and his team from Crembo are the key drivers helping to build this. And then we move to building social proof. Building social proof is so important. And that we're doing through, obviously, the people that have purchased our product already, and we're doing reviews with them. And you start to see we're already starting to get some amazing reviews after, literally 6 weeks in the marketplace. But we're also going after mid-tier influencers. And these are people that we've spent a lot of time going after and targeting key people that match our target audience and match our brand, that also have a big web that they talk to and they have credibility with. And right now we're working through, because it's critical that these people take Vigna. It's critical that they authentically see the difference of how Vigna affects them in a positive way. And only those people that have this experience will we bring on board into our influencer team. So we're busy now working and building that team, but it's perfect because we have the time now with Commerce Garage to work through and drive the optimization that we need in paid social, paid search, and content marketing, so that when we bring the influencers in the next literally next 2 quarters, it's like opening the floodgates, because you bring them into your website and you're converting them at much higher rates. So we have phase 4, which is mid-tier influencers. And if you go and you look at our Israel strategy, where we had a top-tier influencer, we are right now strategically talking to a number of top-tier influencers. Don't try and guess who this is, because that's not the influencer. We're having discussions with some very, very strategic, credible, reputable people that we believe are going to be significant assets for our business. And again, these are people that credibly will need to feel authentically and credibly that Vigna is changing their life. And that's part of the process we're working through right now. And then phase 6, which is also allows us to go deeper in the communities, is being much more segmented and targeted and going after specific communities. For example, we're starting to build the marketing strategy to be able to effectively target the evangelical community, where there's a deep connection on a spiritual level to the powers of red wine based on the Bible, all the way through to also the power of actually our unique technology and proposition being from the land of Israel, which has a unique connection. And so we see this as a very important partner community in helping us grow the business. So it's really important that, because I couldn't put this in a press release, but I wanted you all to understand the building blocks of what we're working through to really go and climb this mountain in Alaska, and really make sure we build a sustainable business, which is built off the right fundamentals that allows us to build a conversion machine. So as we bring people in, we're building scale. And this scale is important, not just for Vigna. This scale is so super important for what comes after Vigna, whether it's our olive cell products or it's our cannabis-related products, which we want to go potentially direct to consumers with. We're still in the early stages. We're optimizing our funnel and improving every week. This is the conversion funnel. So you start at the top, leveraging the power of advertising on Facebook, on Instagram, bringing people onto the site. You need to then bring people into your product page. When you get to the product page and all of you have shopped, the critical next step is to get the consumer to add the product to their cart, get them to check out, and make sure you don't lose them in checkout. Keep them engaged and push them through the funnel to purchase, and then continue to build that relationship with them all through the life cycle and maintain them for as long as possible. So with this, together with Jesse and his team at Commerce Garage, we have been in major optimization mode. And I will tell you, or we will be in optimization mode for the next 10 years because it's a continuous process. But the key metrics after only 4 weeks are very, very encouraging for a new brand. And I've taken a few key metrics here to share with you. Firstly, at the top of the funnel, which they call your click-through rate, we have an amazing click-through rate. Our click-through rate is more than 50% higher than the Facebook benchmark. Why? Because our product, our brand, is totally relevant to the consumer that we're targeting, 40 to 65 plus, because there's a need state that is an unmet need state that Vinia is able to deliver, as far as being able to ensure that we're able to improve their overall health and wellness. And that's why, because of the disruptive technology, because of our science, because of our clinicals, and you'll see some of those ads I'm going to show you now, why we have such a high click-through rate. At the same time, at the bottom of the funnel, we've made huge improvements. Just in the last few weeks, we already increased our conversion rate by 20%. And we will continue to grow this figure as we build the layers of the mountain. And that's exciting because we're seeing that the benefits of continuous optimization. Our average order value is very high. Everybody, I think, is aware, we have many investor feedback on the actual packages that we offer. So having a $100 average order value is very high. And then 80% of the revenue is on subscription. This is amazing. If you look at most sites, it's the other way around. One-time purchase. This is recurring revenue. And everybody understands the power of recurring revenue as you start to look at the multiple on a business. So we're really excited by the early signals, but we've just started, and it's a process of continuous improvement as we build this conversion machine. And we're optimizing our advertising messages. So this is, Facebook ads. I'm sure many of you are on Facebook. You've seen our ads. The one on the left-hand side just talks generally about the power of our science. We go deeper here in the one in the middle, where we talk about the benefits of dilation of arteries and actually go back to some of the clinical results where we're able to increase the dilation of the arteries of all those people that consume Vinia for 3 months, 400 milligrams of Vinia, by 70%, minimum of 70%. So we're communicating this, and this has amazing click-through rates. All the way through to unique, engaging communication on the right-hand side, which talks about our benefits, but also talks about 25 times, you can see on the top right when you play the video, it talks about our solubility and our bioavailability. So we're understanding through data science which of these directions are generating the most optimal results, and then we continue to refine and build, and it's a continuous process. Same thing in homepage. Many of you who've come back to our site might have seen a few different homepages. We've tested literally now 3 homepages. And you can see here, the conversion rate being much higher on our original homepage. So again, we've been testing. We do split testing. And that's what we've been doing the last 4 weeks. We're split testing, A/B testing, and optimization, and learning and improving. The same thing when we look at our PDP, our product display page, okay? We got a lot of feedback from consumers in the first 2 weeks. Many of you said, hey, there's no non-subscription product. I can't buy a one-time purchase. Even though you have 90-day money-back guarantee, you can cancel anytime. So we added the one-time purchase here, but we added a one-time purchase for 3 months with 20%, and that is now 20% of our transactions. We also added a number of human body interactions with the brand, and we saw some significant improvements from this. Increase of 33% of conversion to cart just by changing some of the critical icons here. In addition to adding our unique video for people to better understand the benefits of Vinia right underneath the actual fold on the P2P page. As we move to checkout, we simplified checkout, cleaned it out, added more payment options. You add more payment options, you give more choices, you increase your conversions. We also are using AI. So when some people are about to leave and they've been in our cart for a certain period of time and they've displayed a certain behavior where we think that they're like on the fence, they want it, but they can't afford it, and there's a certain behavior, we'll give them a $10 off coupon to bring them into the family. Social proof has been really, really positive. This is some of the Facebook feedback. You can read it faster than I can talk. So we're starting to see that now occur, which is so important. And then our ratings are very strong. We're at a 4.9 ratings on the product. And as we start to have time go by and more people utilizing the product, around about a day 45 to 65, we send out the reviews. They're all verified reviews for people to give us their opinion on the product. And we're slowly reaching that stage with some of our consumers. Remember, we've only been in the market now for 45 days, so that'll start now building. So this is how we're focusing on building a conversion machine in Q3, how we're leveraging social proof and social proof power in Q4, and the roadmap to climb the mountain phase by phase. And this is where the dialogue I'm going to have with you as we build a sustainable US business in a very methodical, purposefully methodical way to build a sustainable business as it relates to the fundamentals on optimizing website and the conversion funnel, and then making sure you're building a monster of social proof of people that swear by your product authentically. And that's what the mission of the team is for Q3 and Q4 as we build the business. So hopefully that's been helpful for you to dimensionalize what we've been doing and giving you the confidence in our ability to really execute on the strategy and build a successful business for Vinia, but importantly, building the pipes for the portfolio that will come following Vinia. All right, Vince, you've been amazingly patient. Please, let's update our investor partners on the great work that you and your team have been doing.
Yeah, thanks, Ilan. Hi, everyone. That 40-minute dialogue by Ilan is the inspiration to the instinct that we first had about a year ago on starting the partnership with BioHarvest Sciences. It's obviously very exciting, you know, not only the progress from a scientific point of view, but also the commercial metrics, whether you look at the Israel momentum, and then you look at the launch in the US, which, you know, having had experience previously with Splendor, having a strong retail brand enables a significantly stronger B2B business. So we're very excited about, you know, the benefit that we'll get off the work that Ilan and the team are doing with Vinia in the US. In terms of where we are with the customer engagement, the strategy, you know, between Ilan, myself, and the team on our side continues to evolve. We have already begun the engagement with some fairly significant plant-based food manufacturers in the US, and there is interest in having a dialogue. One of the things that has evolved between ourselves and Ilan is the need to take the conversation up rather than just talk about Vinia. We've made the decision that we want to talk to these companies about the broader holistic biofarming technology. So given that slight change in our customer engagement strategy, the setting up of the actual dialogue has been slower than expected, but not an issue. That's because we've changed our strategy and are looking more broader. So we do expect that in not only the remainder of the third quarter, but certainly going into the fourth quarter, that we will have actually more engagement than Ilan talked about. We talked about 5, where we're broadening that, all fitting within the criteria of those qualifying factors where there is margin enhancement. They're leaders in the premium segment, primarily of plant-based products, very much focused around the health and wellness, and companies that have the best-in-class sustainability behaviours, which, if I was able to share with you the customers that we're talking about, they do fit those criteria 100%. So very exciting. As I said, the interest is positive. The other change that Ilan have made in terms of the strategy of the customer engagement is rather than just Ilan and myself and some of my team, we believe that because we are going to talk about the broader platform and the broader technology, that we will involve, potentially Dr. Yockey and others to really add credibility to the dialogue that we will have, not only with CEOs, but the heads of their R&D departments. So we're very enthusiastic, very positive about where this business can go. So thanks, Ilan, for the opportunity. And we look forward to giving everyone an update in the future.
Thank you, Vince. And Vince will hang around for question time if anybody has any questions. Okay, moving along, manufacturing update to support the push that we're going to be doing, obviously, now in our US business and obviously in partnership with Batory. So we're making great progress. The building and the internal materials have been completed, including a very, very unique flooring. And I'm going to share that with you in a second. We have the critical infrastructure systems are right now being implemented, such as water, air conditioning, lighting, and a number of other systems like I'm not able to talk about. We're in the midst of regulation approvals with the local authorities here. So we're going through that process now. And we have a lot of experience in that area and a lot of credibility because we do have a 2-ton facility here, and we're seen as a best-in-class producer here in Israel. And we're still on plan to be operational and producing red grape cells by the end of Q3. That really is the focus, and we're working hard to get there. I just wanted to do a little bit of show and tell because basically from here, I'm not able to do any more show and tell. So this is going to be the last show and tell I can share with you, because afterwards we start to put in our proprietary systems. So on the right-hand side, you have just a small glimpse of the Rolls-Royce water system that we have in place. And then, I've got a short video, and actually let me now I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully I get this right. So this here is just a couple of quick videos. One is of the company called Bolid, B-O-L-I-D-T, which is probably one of the best flooring companies out there as it relates to putting in place quality flooring for pharma companies, aseptic environments. So there's a quick clip here just of the guys putting in the flooring. They came in from Amsterdam. We were able to get them in. It was very challenging with COVID. It's a very, very unique type of flooring that they put in, proprietary flooring with unique grade of different materials that they use. And here on the left-hand side, you see our literally the flooring's being completed, and it's literally spotlessly clean, aseptic environment. And then we start to layer in now, and you can see here this is just literally a bird's eye view that's taken from a drone, and we'll now start to put in all the systems. So we have this huge literally 1,100 square meters. We believe that the 20-ton capacity is going to be easily achievable. We believe there's more in it, but more to come in that area. And basically, this is the area that we'll start to layer in our systems, our bioreactors, and that's the work that right now is being done as we speak, and will continue to be done leading up to the end of September, where we'll start to actually grow our cells. Okay, back to the presentation. Great. All right, I'm going to spend 5 minutes on sustainability. I was hoping to spend a little bit more time, but I apologize. We've run a little bit close to the hour. We will go after the hour. Those people, I'm happy to stay up until a quarter of the hour, after the hour, if necessary more, to at least answer a good chunk of the questions that are out there. So if people, hopefully you have the time and you can stay on. So let's talk sustainability. I am so proud to share with you the key elements of the sustainability report that will be released in the next 10 days. Together with our partners at Bolt and Summit, I think we've really been able to appropriately translate the quality sustainability culture that we have in the company and the way that our technology so clearly becomes the anchor in the sustainability that drives the sustainability of our business. You know, sustainability for us is a fact. It's real. It's the core of our business because it's literally ingrained in our technology, which is very different to other companies where it's kind of like, you know, piecemeal, or that they pay at some level of lip service because it has to be done. Specifically the way now that institutions are not touching companies without having purposeful sustainability focus. For us, it's at the epicenter because it's literally delivered as a result of the power of our technology, and it becomes, as a result, permeates through the culture of our organization. And just to give you some perspective on how deep into the core it is, you can read these critical facts that we open the report with. The fact that we use 99.9999 recurring, less land than traditional agricultural production. We use no solvents in our manufacturing process. We have 100% biodegradable wastewater. Show me another company in the space that has that. We produce 0 greenhouse gases emissions in our manufacturing processes. Our processes result in 100% natural structure of the active ingredients that we're making. It's 100% pure, no GMO. We are not GMO, no pesticides, no solvents, no heavy metals. It's in the core. We're not running around getting certificates like in the cannabis business and hoping that there's no heavy metal traces. It's in the core of our technology. It doesn't exist. There's no need for it. Because at the end of the day, we don't grow the plant. We grow cells. We have 100% traceability. All our ingredients are fully traceable end to end. So you can see how it's so ingrained in the actual core of the business. Our ambition, as I said, sustainability is at the core of everything we do. We strive to be best in class, to deliver best in class practices across all aspects of the whole end-to-end value chain. And as myself and the team, as we grow this company together with you, our shareholder partners, we want to get things right from the start. And we did this with our technology, making sure that our transparency, our governance, and our environmental and social record remains really the gold standard bearer for the industry, whether it's in the nutraceutical industry, whether it's in the cannabis industry or other verticals that we may move into in the future. And as a result, there are 4 key pillars: product, how we promote pure well-being; process, industrial scale with minimal impact; people, supporting our people; diversity in the workplace; and from a governance perspective, setting the standard for the industry. Our approach, we've partnered with a world-renowned team of ESG experts from Bolt and Summit. We completed a major benchmarking exercise against industry peers on a range of environmental, social, and governance areas. We conducted quite a deep materiality assessment to understand what our key stakeholders saw were the most important for our business to focus on, whilst also identifying business risks and opportunities. We've aligned our report with literally the SASB standards and TCFD reporting frameworks, as well as the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we're anchored in real frameworks that have reliability and credibility within the industry. This is our materiality map. You can see the focus for us in this report is the top right. Areas with the highest importance to stakeholders and the highest importance for business success. So health benefits and safety of products, ethical marketing, business ethics, science and innovation, energy management, climate and environment, waste management, and water management. And based on this materiality assessment, we focused our sustainability strategy around 4 pillars. And these pillars corresponded to our business model and reflect our desire, our deep desire to make the right products the right way and to direct all of our efforts to where we can have the most impact. So the 4 pillars are product. It's all about promoting pure well-being, providing full traceability, science-based and innovative products with proven health benefits that improve the well-being of our consumers. On process, it's all about ensuring we have industrial scale with minimal impact. And this means demonstrating minimal footprint of our production process, but also striving to improve our impact on water use, climate, and the environment. People, supporting our people, treating them with the utmost respect, having the safest working conditions, and allowing them to develop and thrive in the workplace. And then governance, setting the standard for end-to-end sustainability, ethical marketing, business ethics, and obviously transparency in the industry. And because of time, I'm going to just focus on one of these areas, and I'm going to go deeper in the industrial scale with minimal impact, looking at our benchmark and our goals. And again, the report will be out shortly, and you can go deeper into each of these pillars. But if you look at our benchmark, as I said, 99.99 recurring less land and agricultural production, 87% lower energy use than other regular industrial production of resveratrol. By the way, that's the entire industry. We, with our pine seed resveratrol and veneer, use 87% less energy than the rest of the market. Fact. No use of solvents, 0 GHG emissions, ISO certification, GMP certification. Not good enough. We've got to have goals. We've got to stretch ourselves. 2025, we will improve water efficiency by 10% per ton of product. That is significant because water is an important input in our process because we grow our cells in bioreactors. We will improve our energy intensity by 25% per ton, reduce operational plastic by 20%, and achieve 90% use of recyclable packaging, setting the gold bar within the industry. So in each of these pillars, we have our benchmarks and our goals, and you can work through that and understand more when the report comes out. Okay. So hopefully from sitting through with Vincent, myself, and Justin and being patient for the last hour, and boy, time goes by when you're having fun. Hopefully you've had as much fun as I've had the last hour. It's great to be part of this momentum. The business has solid fundamentals, and we're delivering on our priorities and our commitments to our shareholder partners. And we're going to continue to make a foundational impact in the marketplace as it relates to building shareholder value and as it relates, more importantly, to human utility value. Because you all know how important that building human utility value for me is. Because if we build human utility value, we will build shareholder value. And with this trajectory of progress and building the capabilities that we're building across the business and leveraging the power of our technology all the way through these verticals, it's starting to perfectly position us to be the biotech leaders of the plant kingdom and to really become a formidable force in the industry as we unlock the secrets of cellular biology as it relates to plants. So I think I'm going to stop there, Justin, on that note, and let's open up for Q&A for 15 minutes. And hopefully we're not going to lose any people. And again, I apologize for going a little bit long. Justin, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great job, Alain. First thing, there were a lot of questions about influencers, and I think you addressed that really well. One thing I'd like to say on behalf of both of us is we know how important it is that our shareholders introduce the concept of bioharvest to their networks, same as our Vinia users. And right out of the gate, as soon as we went live in May, we got great support from our investor base on both sides. So thank you. Yeah, lots coming down on that influencer path. First question, a lot of questions around the actual output on the cannabis side currently. I know you mentioned the trichomes, but what type of cells or material is currently resulting after the drying process as is?
So obviously, as you go through the drying process, we're left with biomass. I mean, this is equivalent to the biomass you have from the regular process that you have. We're containing the critical. In our case, it's full spectrum, which is very, very important to understand. And obviously, it's that full spectrum cannabinoids. With your flavonoids and terpenes. So, we're now working through the process of optimization as we go through the different stages. But yeah, I mean, we are left with an outcome which is similar to what you have in the industry. Obviously, our trichomes are unique, our densities are unique, and now we're busy working through what do we do with the uniqueness? What's the best way to bring that uniqueness to the marketplace, and what are the right use cases? And this is a piece that we're spending a lot of time to really understand. How do we match the uniqueness of our trichome, the trichome structure, the trichome density, with the different use cases that there are in the marketplace? For example, in Vince's area, when you have a huge desire for major companies out there for product that has fingerprint consistency, for product that has a level of cleanliness and purity that we will have in the marketplace, and how that's applied to the food and beverage area, all the way through to the medicinal space, where you have pharma companies who are pioneering the next evolution of pharma products, which are going to be anchored in many cases with cannabis-based ingredients, and that we are going to be the calling point as a result of our consistency, as a result of our cleanliness or purity, the full spectrum nature. And then again, sustainability counts for these consumers. So hopefully that answers that question, Justin.
Yeah, and good. And there's several questions about the nature of it. So can you comment, will the finished product perform the same as a naturally growing product?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't. Absolutely. I mean, it's from a biomass is biomass. As I said, we will have a level of consistency. We'll have a level of purity, which we believe will be very unique. There's no need to irradiate our product, which is a major factor within the industry. And obviously, without the solvents, without many of the challenges that you deal with, and the full spectrum nature of what we have, it will be a very unique product, but delivering on similar needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of questions around the product and potential partnerships. So last question on this one. So the biomass, do you expect there to be like post-drying separation to remove cannabinoids on the bioharvest side? Or is your expectation that you're going to find partners that are used to taking biomass and converting it into edibles, oils, smokables, etc.?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, we're now, as I said earlier, we're working through our product strategy and our route to market strategy because we've made so much progress in the last 4 months. Let's say we have the critical need to really start to scope out where to play and how to play. And obviously, we want to make sure that where we play and how to play, we have significant competitive advantage so that we can win in those revenue buckets. And competitive advantage comes down to making sure you have a unique product proposition that fits an unmet need for the customer or for the consumer. So there will be likely a B2B play, and that B2B play will mostly be directed to the medicinal area, where our consistency and purity is going to be most needed. And I think everybody understands. You talk to any cannabis user, and I've actually in the last week spoken to a few, and the same thing comes up, that the biggest challenge for them is consistency. When you're taking cannabis because you have a major health issue, you need that kind of mental guarantee that the product is going to be able to treat you in the same way every single week. It's not this level of uncertainty every week whether you get the same product that can deliver on the benefits. So this is a major play for us in the medicinal side from a B2B. And then obviously direct to consumer is real. I just took you through a whole VINIA strategy. This is going to be a very important part, a very important component for us that we're busy working through on the right product strategy and route to market strategy.
Excellent. Switching gears for another popular question. Can you comment on your plans on corporate structure and a more senior listing?
Okay. So look, we get asked this a lot. And let me share a couple of things. Firstly, you've probably heard me say a few times in today's presentation, biotech company. We are a biotech company. We're a biotech company that wants to be leaders in the plant kingdom. So what that means is that, today we have 2 verticals. If you fast forward 2 years, 3 years, we have to start to leverage our platform technology and our IP into other areas that can create human utility value and shareholder value. With that, it means that across our business, we have to continue to bring in new capability at the highest levels from a professionalism and experience perspective, as it relates to critical areas like R&D, because our R&D team will grow. There's no doubt about it. With that aspiration of being biotech leaders of the plant kingdom, we're going to have to grow that part of the business. In addition, we're going to be needing to do more and more clinicals. The science is so important, so that part of the business will continue to grow. And we're going to be, we are able to attract today, because of the power of our technology, not just the best influencers that we're talking to, amazing influencers that are so attracted to the company because of our purpose and our mission and our technology, but the same thing with bringing the best people from the R&D world, from the medical world, that are coming to kind of really build out the IP and the knowledge base of this business. So that's a big focus for me as I look to the next 12 months on how we kind of build out that capability. And that's going to be, obviously something that's only going to enhance the strength and the capability of the company.
Okay, one question for Vince and probably yourself. When you talk about the platform, introducing the platform technology to corporations, Vince, what type of company is going to be interested in access to the platform technology?
Any company that is looking to either expand or be a disruptor in the whole plant-based food innovation that's going on right now, specifically in the US. And it may not be, it may be vertical specific, that there's somebody there who's only going to use either the VINIA or something else. But we're talking major CPG companies here that we've already reached out to that have expressed an interest. It's not going to be everyone, because we're if you go back to the slide that Alon put up there, we're looking at this through 3 lenses: is the margin profile, the health and wellness connection, and the sustainability piece. So we're using that as a criteria for selection. And even though the criteria are fairly deliberate and stringent, you still get to some major CPG companies.
Excellent, thank you. And then to expand on that, Alon, we've got questions about microalgae, plant protein, psilocybin. Can you comment on research and products past superfruits and cannabis?
I'm not in a position to make specific comments around those categories, but I will tell you that the way I see it is that, you know, we built the technology that has allowed us to be able to really build amazing competence and capability in the polyphenol world. Let's call it the polyphenol antioxidant world, with vinea, with our olive cells, and pomegranate cells, which is quite complex as well. And then when we went into cannabis, it was like on this side of the spectrum. Cannabis is so complex. It's probably like the most complex flower out there. And we figured out how to grow the trichomes and how to literally ensure that those trichomes are producing cannabinoids, etc. So in between, so we kind of have the most difficult here. In between, there are a lot of interesting verticals that we today believe we have the competency and the experience. Remember, we've been doing this now, you know, for more than 10 years. And the same scientists have been doing it for more than 10 years. We have a 100% retention rate of these scientists. So there's a huge learning curve. And between these two, there are a number of categories that we're exploring and assessing the applicability of our technology to. And it opens up just significant ability to drive human utility value and shareholder value. And as we start to lean in and start to articulate what that looks like, obviously our shareholder partners will be the first to understand as we start to think about what those categories look like. But as going back to the earlier discussion, building out the R&D team is going to be critical to be able to do that under Dr. Yochi's leadership.
Excellent. And how are you prioritizing markets for cannabis and the first customers or type of customers to start? I think the product, how are you looking at the product plan and markets?
So look, I mean, markets is pretty simple. You know, you have the biggest market right now from a US perspective. And we're also looking at it from a regulatory perspective. So it's a combination of size of the market, regulatory approval process. And as I said earlier, we're spending a lot of time on that. So that's, you know, from a geographic focus perspective. And obviously that brings the importance of the US and Canada into the fold as markets that we're really assessing and are very much focused on. And then, you know, from a partnership perspective, we're at the stage right now where I'm starting to feel comfortable to engage with people that maybe 12 months ago I wasn't so comfortable to engage with, because now I understand we have the clear understanding of the uniqueness of what we have. And that, you know, for me and the shareholder partners, we're all shareholder partners in this company. This allows us to sit at the table with a, and I say this humbly, with a responsibility to make sure that we're leveraging the maximum from a value perspective with these other partners. And it gives us a position, a quality position, I'm being very purposeful and respectful in my words, sitting at the table with a quality position to have the right kind of dialogue to ensure we get our fair share of the value pie based on the significant value of our technology and where we are in the commercialization process. So the next six to 12 months are going to be very exciting for me, and I'm looking forward to those discussions.
Okay, excellent. Do you have time for two more questions, tough ones?
Yeah, sure. I can see we still have a lot of people, so no problems.
Yeah, two more questions. So this question, you've stated that you expect cannabis commercialization in the first half of 2022. But this question asks, how confident are you that there's going to be cannabis commercialization in 2022, and what roadblocks might slow that?
So I'm very confident. I'm confident for a few reasons. We have the experience. We've been doing this for a long time. We know how to scale up. We have tremendous experience with Vinia and the scale-up process. We've also done, a large part of the scaling process on olive cells and pomegranate cells. So we know what we need to do. And we have the right people to do it. The scientists that worked on the work on Vinia and olive cells and pomegranate cells, it's the same team that's working on cannabis right now. And, as far as obstacles that we have to navigate through, just like anything, I can't control the regulators. It takes time. The timing, might not suit my levels of impatience to get into the marketplace. But, we're being very thoughtful in our regulatory strategy. We're in a process now of finding the best legal partners in the jurisdictions that we're focusing on. And there's a lot of really experienced, close to the ground operators with amazing knowledge of the regulatory environment together with our team that I believe from a partnership perspective will be able to navigate effectively through that process. But, I don't control it. COVID has delayed a lot of the licenses and different things that are going on. It's starting to speed up now a little bit, but there's things that we just can't control. So that's the piece that's a little bit out of our control. The other elements are in our control, and that's our responsibility to deliver on what we say we're going to deliver. And we've done it before, and there's, we have a lot of confidence that we're going to be able to continue through the process and get us to deliver cannabis, a unique form of cannabis with unique use cases in the first half of 2022.
Excellent. A Vinia question: what's your marketing budget and expectations for the U.S. for the remainder of 2021?
I'm not going to share that. I will tell you that there are significant resources behind Vinia, and resources come in quality of people with our partners. Commerce Garage, amazing partners we're working with, the quality of my team, the quality of the influencer partners we're working with, the community partners that we're working with. And I can't really talk more about this. It's not all about money. There is money. There's significant resources there. But what we've really realized, and it's very, very humbling, and it's a great privilege for me to be leading this charge on behalf of all of you shareholders and the team that I represent here in Israel, and the team in Canada, and the team in the US, is that with marketing, the partnerships are so important, whether it's influencer partnerships, community partnerships. And when people see a company and we open up the doors of our company and they understand our technology, they understand our value system, they understand what our wiring is, and at the core what we're all about, and our literally maniacal focus on changing the world, they actually want to join us. They want to be our partners. I had a discussion last night with a super influencer. It was probably one of the most inspiring 1 hours I've had. And dollars didn't come up because that particular partner, you felt the chemistry, not to me, but to the company and what we stand for. And we were congruent in fitting in with what that partner, influencer partner, wants to achieve in his or her life as a result of their influencer capabilities. So, those kind of discussions is when you're really able to get the wow factor and to be able to penetrate the hearts and minds of the public without having to just throw crazy amounts of money on advertising and TV ads and literally like wallpaper and throwing it at the consumer. So we're truly lucky to have the technology, to have the culture that is like a magnet and allows us to really change the dialogue with people, quality people, to join our team, this team, me, you, Justin, Vince, the shareholder partners here, the team here in Rehovot. I'm here in our offices here now in Israel. And that's really, it's amazing. It's amazing, and we need to cherish that. And it helps us create enormous value without spending stupid money, because that money is the shareholders' money. It's your investments in our company.
Can I squeeze in 2 more questions for people?
Yeah, we still have 120, 130 people. No
so let's go quick product question. Can you give any kind of update on the snack bar?
Yeah, so a snack bar in Israel is going to be rolling out. I want to do whatever we can to get that rolled out in September. It's important for us, but it's not critical. The priorities for us as a team on the US launch and on cannabis are like, the key priorities. So it kind of fell a little bit lower in the priority, order as a result of the resources we have. And that's okay. That's a conscious decision that I made. So we kind of slowed that a little bit, not for no reason, just the reason of resources and people and what we all have to work on. Had to put all the resources on the US and what the US needed for us, as well as in delivering the numbers for Israel. So we have a great partner. We have a great product. Jewish New Year is in September, and we kind of feel like that's a nice time around the Jewish festivals in the back end of September to bring that to market, to give our customers a Jewish New Year present. So that's something we're working on to try and get it out. Let's call it late September, worst case early October, and then it gives us a good period of time, to really test it for the fourth quarter and the first quarter of 2022, and start to assess, how quickly we scale it, into other markets.
Perfect. So I'm going to go last question. I do want to thank everybody for submitting them. I promise we will answer every one. And to everyone who's commented on the influencers, Justin at BioHarvest, Elan at BioHarvest, many of our followers are scouring the internet for other like-minded people. If you see somebody that makes sense, please alert them to us. We may not already be on it. Last question, Elan. Can you comment on cash flow, financial position for next 3-6 months?
Yeah. In the next 6 months, we will need to bring in incremental resources for the company. Together with the board and myself, we're busy working on a number of strategies to do that in a way that's best for the shareholders, and also understanding the leverage of our technology. So we have a number of things that we're working on as far as bringing more cash into the company. What's good as well is, when you're bringing in cash in Israel, like we bring in, and also even, the cash we bring in the US, it helps a lot. So the necessity for, it's still there, but it does help with the cash flow that we have coming into the business, which is nice. But we are clearly understand the relationship of the power of our technology and the ability to utilize the technology in unique structures to be able to bring cash into the business, which may not be as dilutive as what would normally be. So that's something definitely we're looking at, those kind of options. But for me, it's not something that keeps me up at night. We have a good cash position right now, but we've got to start planning because 2022 is a big year. It's a big year when you start to think about commercializing cannabis. When you start to think about in 2022, for 2023, you have to do certain things in 2022, right? If it means, from a manufacturing facility, additional capacity, building cannabis capacity offshore, outside of Israel, in the key markets that we're going to be in, the cash has to be raised in end of 2020, early 2021 to make sure with our technology, because we can build very, very quickly, as you've seen. 1 year in COVID, we were able to build, a 20+ ton facility. But yeah, there will be that necessity for things like that. But I'm very happy with the creativity that's being displayed by the team that's working with me on doing this the right way.
Excellent. Let's close the questions off there, and please take us home. Great job.
So thank you, everybody. It's humbling to see. I think I've seen like 130 people, 125 people that have stayed with us through the discussion. We really appreciate the partnership and the belief and the conviction that you as shareholder partners have in the company. I think what's really important is that you continue to advocate on behalf of the company, as much as you are doing, and we see that in social media, and it's very much appreciated. And I think part of that is, you know, what's unique about our company is that when you join this movement of change, you don't just join it for financial gain. There will be financial gain, and we've seen that specifically even in the last 2 days, based on, you know, for us, what are regular steps in our commercialization process. But what's more important, there's a level of purposefulness to actually be part of something that's going to change the world. And that's what gets me up in the morning every single day, because I know that what I'm doing is going to benefit the lives of people from an overall health and wellness perspective. And that's something that, you know, one couldn't dream of not being part of. So I appreciate the partnership from everybody. And yeah, let's keep this momentum and looking forward to the next part of the journey. And thank you. And thank you to you, Vince, as well, for staying with us for the last hour and a half nearly.